Boy, oh boy. If you are heavily into video games or you pay attention to social media whatsoever, if you're watching this at the time of recording, which is April 4th, 2025, this has just been quite the week. This has been a week for sure. The Nintendo Direct happened. We saw a bunch of games. We learned a lot about the next console from Nintendo, the Switch 2. And let's just say things haven't exactly been perfect, and things have kind of been going crazy. There is controversy, there is fear, there is drama, there is concern everywhere. Yeah, it's just not a great place to be in right now. But with that being said, we have some awesome games to talk about, and that's what I want to do. I want to talk about some of the awesome games that we have seen all week long, and mainly from the Nintendo Direct. And today I really wanted to talk about Mario Kart World, because this one has really been on my mind recently. And so we're going to talk about that, go over all the details that we've learned so far, and I'm just going to kind of give you my thoughts on it and stuff like that. So appreciate everybody tuning in. If you guys love video games, consider subscribing and share with your friends. I mean, doesn't matter what you love here, you know, Nintendo, PlayStation, third party, Xbox, PC, VR, indie, whatever it may be. Consider subscribing, share with your friends. We cover video games daily on this channel. We love video games, and I hope you do too as well. But let's get started talking about Mario Kart World. So, Mario Kart World is the next Mario Kart game. It was announced to be a launch title with the Nintendo Switch 2, meaning it's coming out this same day. And this is the next big one. And not only is this the next big one, this is the big one. This is probably going to be the biggest iteration Mario Kart has ever seen, and there's a lot of reasons for that, and we're kind of gonna get into it. But here's what I'll say is, I've never really been a Mario Kart person. I mean, like, I'll just be honest. I think it's kind of overrated in a way. I respect Mario Kart a lot, and I know there's so many people who love and adore it, and I understand why. But personally, me, I've never really been a Mario Kart person. I've always enjoyed it when I played it. I've always had fun playing with family members, friends, but I never wanted to play it solo. I never was looking forward to playing it. It was never a suggestion of mine. It was just something that I was never really excited for. I kind of just had fun playing it, and that was pretty much as far as it went. So I didn't really think I would be excited for a new Mario Kart being announced. Well, what's really, really interesting is this is probably one of the most excited Nintendo games I've ever been excited for. Like, I know I worded that awfully, but genuinely, I am so excited for Mario Kart World, and I think it's just because what the game is, and we're kind of going to get into that, but I did not expect to be this excited for Mario Kart World, because I've just never been that kind of guy for Mario Kart. But here we are, 2025, April 4th, and this is amongst my most anticipated games right now. So let's go ahead and get talking. And the big thing about Mario Kart World is they are expanding on game modes, on roster, on features, on just content, and this game is going to be huge. One of the big things that people are saying is this is the Forza Horizon of Mario Kart. And for those of you who don't know what Forza Horizon is, it's debatably the best racing game to date. And not only is it the best, it is the open world racing game where you just have this huge map, tons of unlockables, tons of things to do, tons of races, and you can just go anywhere, be anywhere, do whatever you want, and be the ultimate racer. And people are comparing it to this game, or they're comparing this game to that. And I think that's for good reason, because one of the big things that this game is adding is the ability to free roam, to basically do an open world. Now, I'm not going to say it's as big as an open world, but that's practically what it is. It is this big map where you can go explore freely. And this is a big change from what we have known from past Mario Karts. It's really been, hey, you're on the main menu, select a race, and that's it. Go back to the main menu, do it all over again. To me, it was just very repetitive, and it's just not something I really got super engaged with. But this is different. You know, I'm a huge Forza Horizon fan. I love the whole exploration aspect of it. And this game is kind of going for that, and I really am excited for this. But also, let's just talk about basic Mario Kart here. Let's talk about the races, and it looks awesome. I love the things that they're adding to this. They're getting rid of the zero gravity thing where you can go upside down and go sideways up walls. I'm so glad they're doing that. But they are adding grind rails, which I think is really, really cool. And then they're adding the ability to like wall jump. You can like jump from wall to wall, and I think that's like odd but super cool. Like I'm so curious to see how they implement that in every track, but I think that is very, very exciting. Also, it looks like there's gonna be like environmental things that you can do. Like there was a scene where Birdo entered the trailer of like a semi, and then you like actually drove the semi. I think that was really interesting. But then also the courses. The courses look awesome, and a lot of them have a lot of references to other Nintendo things, like the original Donkey Kong on the arcade, where you're like running up, or you're racing up those red ramps with the blue supports, and then at the very end you have Donkey Kong throwing barrels at you, like in the OG arcade game. And so I just love what they're going for. I think the game visually looks a lot better than what we've seen, and now it's not like whole night and day difference, but like you can definitely see major improvements. And I think one of the big things for me is just the attention to detail is really, really cool, and just the minor differences that we've seen from the previous one to this one. For example, you see in the trailer, like not everybody just starts parked in their spot and then it counts down and you have to try and time your boost, and then you go. In this one, like there are some times when everybody is like slowly driving and then it counts down, and once it reaches 0, everyone then speeds up, right? Kind of like an actual race, like a NASCAR or whatnot, where they kind of stay behind that like patrol car. They're going slowly, and then once it starts, everybody speeds up. So I really like that. But also things like there are some items that are doing a little bit different things. So for instance, the blue shell, the one that goes to first place and explodes on that person, when it explodes, there's like these cartoony like bam, like pow, like boom type like text and stuff that like pops up, and I think that's just a neat little minor change to just add a little bit more character to this game. And there's so many other things that they're adding, but we're gonna go into some more detail and things that we actually know, actual statistics here. And so yeah, this game is going to be technically an open world game with the free roam. This game will be a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive. I think that's actually a big W for that. I know it's not gonna get as many players at the start because of it, but I think that's just really good for the Switch 2. At the current moment, there are 24 confirmed racers, which is a pretty good roster overall. This is coming out the same day as the Switch 2. Players can control the weather and time of day. So yeah, that's something else that they're adding in this game. There is going to be weather and time of day, which will affect everything as well. So I think that's really, really cool. And then players can change course and explore the world and race. So, one thing that they've kind of shown a lot of is that the map in this game, the world in this map, all the courses are interconnected with each other. So for instance, a Grand Prix will just take you through 4 courses. It won't be like, hey, you race on this course and then you like stop and then you load into the other course and then you do it all again. No, it's practically just one really, really long race through 4 different areas of the map. And I really, really like that. I think that's really, really cool. I think that's gonna help with the repetitiveness. It doesn't feel like you're doing the same thing 8 different times in like 1 hour. You're more or less doing like just one long thing in 20 minutes. So I really like that. And then also another game mode, which this for me is the absolute best. This is the thing that has gotten me the most excited, and that is the new game mode called Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour is basically a battle royale where it takes 24 racers, and you basically have to get to a certain position in the race or else you will be eliminated. So for instance, Knockout Tour, I'm pretty sure, goes through 6 different courses. At the first checkpoint, if you are in the bottom 8, you will be eliminated. At the second checkpoint, if you are in the bottom 16, you will be eliminated. Stuff like that. And that's kind of how it works. And the whole point is by the final checkpoint, it will only be the like final 8 racers or the final 4 racers. And I really, really like that. I think that's going to be really cool. I think that's going to help with the the urge to want to grind and the urge to want to keep playing and get better and better, especially if you are unlocking things. And speaking of unlocking things, one of the big things about this game is there is going to be loads of customizations, loads of costumes, loads of vehicles that you can unlock, and I really like that. Gliders have been replaced with planes. I just love everything that is going on with this. But let's go into a little bit more detail about this game. Exploration, this is from hands-on previews, and this is from things that people have seen while playing the game. Exploration leads to finding strange peach-themed coins, stacks of smaller coins, regular coins, a huge evil cloud, a ton of grind rails to practice on, hidden back alleys and pathways, and more. And I think that's really cool. One of the big things about free roam is it could be really boring. It could be very simple where you're just going around doing like these most simple things. But what if this free roam enables you to have really cool exploration where you're going to all these interesting places, finding out puzzles, figuring out unlockables, like doing all these cool things. I could see it going one way or the other. So I just really hope they execute on that. Visually, this game has better draw distance, meaning you're able to see farther, just in the horizon and stuff like that. More detailed characters and environments, and a ton of stuff happening at once. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. I mean, 24 racers is already just something to say. Like, that is a lot of people on one screen, but just in the environment as well. So many different things happening. When your cart gets smashed by an item or another player, your recovery time is snappier, and you're back in the competition quicker than in previous Mario Kart games. So, but pretty much what this means is when you got hit with a shell or slipped on a banana, it would usually take about like 3 seconds for you to even start speeding up. Whereas I guess now it's just a little more sudden. So I really like that. Item boxes respawn almost immediately. That's interesting. Gliders have been replaced with planes, like I said. Underwater sections have been replaced with wave races. So instead of going underwater, you just stay on top of the water. And you kind of like use a boat or a jet ski to go through it. And I like that. I think that's a fun little change. Seemingly no cart customization as of now. And that's only going off of hands-on previews. But there is a lot of different vehicles you can unlock, though. It's just you can't specifically customize one car to have a different color or a different like wheel or different thing like that. Preview had a lot of preset car options to start with. So like I said, there are a lot of vehicles, just not really customization wise. Most characters have different costumed versions you can choose from the character selection screen. So, also was saying the other day, Princess Peach has like 3 or 4 costumes, and Rosalina only has 1 costume, which I think is really unfortunate. But I do love the fact that there are costumes for so many characters, and I think that's gonna be really just fun and exciting to see what kind of costumes we get. You can also change their costume mid-race by finding certain power-ups that appear to alter your stats. So this is something that we've seen. There are some abilities that you will get during the race that will change your look, and it will give you some sort of stat increase. And I think, you know, that could be weird, and it could definitely change the flow of the game, but I think that's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to see what more of those things do. A lot of these items are food-based, so like, for instance, Mario ate a burger and then he turned into like a biker or something like that, and I don't know what kind of boost or power-up that gave him, but that's what happened, and it was fun. It was funny to see. There are new items like throwable hammers, a question block that gives you tons of coins. I'm really curious to see what all the new items are going to be in this game. Like, I really am, because, I mean, with how big the game is, with how different this game is going to be, you can really go out there and be creative and do some crazy things. So, looking forward to that. Some classic items have altered functionality, such as lightning not lasting as long, and blue shells having cartoon phrases pop up when they hit you. I already said all that, but yeah, I'm curious to see what kind of changes they make to certain items, like the squid ink. Like, does that last shorter? Does the shells go slower? Does the banana have a bigger hitbox? Like, I'm curious just what kind of changes they're gonna make to just differentiate the gameplay a little bit. And then every throwable item now automatically drags behind your cart without having to hold down the button to do it. So I really like that as well. So there's a lot of changes, and obviously the more time we get to play and the more time we see information, we can learn a lot more. But as of right now, there's just so much to be excited for. I have just loved all the environments, all the courses, all the racers, all the customization, all the modes, especially Knockout Tour. There's just so much to be excited for, and I'll just say this. for somebody who's never really been a Mario Kart guy, I don't really understand why I'm this excited, but genuinely, this is the one trailer in the whole Nintendo Direct where I was like, I just want to play this right now. Like, I just want to get my hands on the controller and just grind this game. And I can't believe I am, because I not in 1,000 years would have thought that's how excited I would have been for this game. But here we are, Mario Kart World. By the way, the cover and the key art is fire. And I love the logo as well. The music's going to be banger. This game is going to be awesome. This game is going to be awesome. It is going to be elite. It's going to be phenomenal. And I cannot wait for June 5th to play it. Assuming we even get the US gets Switches on June 5th. Because at the current moment, all wars broken loose over tariffs. So we'll have to see. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, definitely leave a like, leave a comment section down below provided. And please subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Johnny Morant. Peace.